without any further ado, Keith Kalfas.
What's up? Thanks. What's up, guys? Thank you. How you doing? What's up? I'm Keith Kalfas, and I am a landscaper. My business is literally, 15 miles from here, south. I started in 2011 with an eviction notice on my door and a brand new wife, and went out and hustled 100 hours a week and killed myself to get it off the ground. And basically, within 6 weeks of getting a business off the ground, I was like, wait a second, I was stuck in a dead-end job for all these years. So I had this epiphany, I want to go on YouTube and help other people do the same thing that I did. And with this complete obsession with video marketing, internet marketing, and social media marketing, was able to build a landscaping business and a YouTube channel at the same time. And they were both kind of like not going where they could be, because the saying, if you chase two rabbits, both will escape. But I'm just a normal dude. I'm not even in your industry. I have a lot of respect for you guys already, just pulling up at the parking lot and seeing all this. And I know what it's like to hustle and chase your dreams and build a business and feed a family and then go up and above and beyond. I've known Marvin since like 2014, and he did run across the parking lot. I mean, I ran across the parking lot to him because he was like nobody else. And I was like, bro, I have to talk to you just one more time. It was like, he looked at me stone cold. It was like one of those moments of truth. He's like, I just want to be the best human I can possibly be. And when he said that, it's like it almost put tears in my eyes, because it was like he didn't just mean in his business. He meant like everything. It was like that those moments where like some magnifying glass on your soul and you feel this responsibility and you're in touch with your mortality and stuff like that. And then I've watched him just take off and do amazing things. But anyways, I want to talk about and also get your feedback as well, because I don't know you guys yet. There's a couple different things I can talk about. The social media marketing aspect. We've got about 80 million views online, and we built 2 businesses at once. I just have a small landscape business, 3 employees. We've never done more than 170,000 in a year, because I fell in love with this media business that's gone on like a side hustle. We did like 283,000 last year online, mostly automated, selling online courses, ebooks, programs, and doing public talks and stuff like this. And it's like these automated sources of income. But then at the same time, I'm learning you can use the same stuff and cross-pollinate as being a contractor to get these views online that have customers calling you saying, like, I saw your video and I liked it and it made perfect sense. And it positioned me or anybody to where the customer's calling, they want a quote and they're ready to buy because they feel like they know you, like you, and trust you. Does anybody here take pictures and videos of their job sites and have a Facebook? Yeah, anybody a YouTube channel? Yeah, nice. Oh, and then is anybody here marketing their business consistently, like before and after pictures and Facebook and Instagram? And yeah, and are you getting good leads from it? Is it working?
I have 80,000 that went viral.
You have what?
I got 20,000 followers and content stuff for asphalt driveway, and I went viral with a video that I always wanted to do with 9 million, and I've turned it into one driveway. So
yeah,
please elaborate.
I'm very interested with the search engine optimization and SEO marketing and Google SERPs, which is search engine ranking page. If you take those viral videos and you built them and bake them into a blog on your website, and here's the caveat to all of this. I have something called a marketing progression pyramid that I'm learning and have figured out the hard way. You don't have to do a lot of this stuff yourself. If you take that stuff and you build it into a search engine optimized blog within your website that's all baked in, well written, like 15 to 2,500 word blog articles that are tagged to your local business and city and zip code, and pulling in social proof with positive reviews from customers, you'll show up on the Google 3-pack, which is organic, without even spending any money on ads. So you take those viral videos and you take all that stuff, and it's called authority domain sites. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. When I say domain authority site, these are sites that have billions and billions of views. So Google indexes them with the crawlers, and then out of the literally hundreds of millions of sites on the internet, it'll put them in high ranking. So when you link all your business information inside of those, and then you pull that back to your website like an interconnecting spider web, and you do it consistently on a drip feed basis, then it pushes you up the ranking charts, because you're putting out consistent content that is relative to your market and your marketplace and to the avatar, which is your customer, and then you'll start showing up organically. And then, so does anybody have any interest? There's two different things I'm split on wanting to talk about here. I'll go right into this. When you're trying to run your business and do everything, manage employees, jobs, scheduling, payroll, something's messed up on a job site, you got to run back. You're up at midnight, running payroll. Now the workers' comp has an audit. It's non-stop. I mean, this is my life. I'm like, how in the hell am I going to find time to do this marketing? Like, oh shit, I forgot to take the before and after picture. I just didn't have time. You can hire virtual assistants on a site called Upwork.com that will literally help you. They love doing this, and they'll do all this stuff for you on autopilot. We have 8 to 12 pieces of content going out per day, every single day, hundreds of pieces of content per month. I have 17 virtual assistants now and built an entire media business and pay them anywhere between like $15 to $125 an hour, depending on what it is. But on an average about 20 bucks an hour. So my only job at my business is to take the before and after picture, take videos, vlogs, and I just upload that stuff to Dropbox, and I don't do anything else. My video editor takes the video, makes the video. My virtual assistant and I'll show you how to do all this stuff, will take that content and chop it up and share it on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Reels and stories and all that stuff. And then everything that I say, if I have a video where I'm talking for 7 minutes straight about a specific topic, my podcast producer will take that and extract the audio, put an intro and an outro and bumpers, and pump that out to 17 different podcast platforms. And we use AI for well-written show notes. And then my blog article writer happens to be in Virginia. He'll take that and then he'll write a 2,500 word blog article, and then put the podcast and the video and the shorts, all that, put that on my blog, and then I pay him extra and he'll write a well-written email, and then he'll pump that out to our email list of 15,000 people, and then it all has calls to action that go back to everything. And then my Pinterest virtual assistant, we'll take that and post the shit all over Pinterest. And so we have this whole marketing media machine happening completely on autopilot. And it's just a bunch of virtual assistants in the Philippines, who I trust, you're gonna kiss a lot of frogs, that can help you do all this shit. And you're literally just running your business, yet there's this thing happening in the background, and people will be like, how the fuck are you doing this? You're like, I'm not doing it. There's a book that I read by Dan Sullivan, the strategic coach, and he's also, if anybody here heard of Gino Wickman, Traction, Get a Grip, and Rocket Fuel, read these books on audible.com. This book called Who Not How changed my life, because I kept saying, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? So I'm eating dinner with my wife, and then literally trying to do marketing on the toilet, in and out of the shower, in the basement after she goes to sleep. I was up till 2:30 o'clock this morning doing marketing, because we just did a big launch yesterday, a Cyber Monday thing, and we're generating sales online. But you can go on a site called Upwork.com and scour through virtual assistants and just start interviewing these people. And what I do is I'll hire 3 for the same project, and I'll quickly let go of the 2 that don't work. If I need anything, there's tens of thousands, probably, I don't know how many, say tens of thousands of people all over the world that are obsessed with, happy, and want to do exactly what you need help with. A virtual bookkeeper, someone to do your marketing, obviously an accountant and all that stuff, somebody to run payroll. And we've gone completely, with the pandemic and everything, people are really online and work from home. So you can have, aside from your core team that you run your business with, because you need boots on the ground banging out the actual jobs, everything else can be completely virtual. And so what we do is we have weekly pulse meetings with the virtual assistants, and we just hop on Zoom once a week at Fridays at 2 o'clock for an hour or two. And here's the thing that changed everything. So earlier I called this thing called the marketing progression pyramid. First of all, you have pain and suffering, and you know you have a problem, but you don't know how to fix it. You want to grow your business, you want to market it, you want to get tons of leads coming in so you can scoop the cream off the top and only take on the highest paying, most qualified jobs, and just not have to say yes to the shit that you know what I'm saying, don't want to. Well, the next step in this marketing progression pyramid is you know you have a problem and you're actively working on solving it, but you're wearing all the hats and pulling your hair out because you're only one person, and that's how you end up in burnout, because you're wearing all the hats. The next step of this pyramid is where you have people that you've hired that are helping you in the field, in the office. You got an office manager, you got a secretary. Like we use Jill's office virtual assistants. They answer the phone for us and they book the jobs automatically online and schedule it with Jobber, and then they do everything. They sell the job and we literally can just show up and do the work. They're virtual receptionists and they're right here in the United States in Utah. But you're still wearing all the hats and pulling your hair out, and it's taking you away from taking Sundays off, taking Saturdays off, hanging out with your family, being fully present where you can just like leave your phone in your truck for like a whole day if you wanted, because it's all handled. The final step in this marketing progression pyramid that finally, I saw this a couple years ago and I was like, but how is the wrong question. How in the F am I gonna do this? And it seemed impossible to me, because you hear about these people that have these multi-million-dollar businesses, and they're like, I hired a CFO or a CEO and I pay him 110 grand a year. Well, I just did an interview with a friend named Dan Plata. Him and his partners own like 15 different businesses on my podcast. And he says, like, when you get to the point where you're making 100,000 in personal income in your business between payroll and distributions, I started crying laughing, because when you go to hire that key person, now you have to pay them a major chunk, and now all your personal income goes away and you're stuck in cash flow purgatory, because now you have to keep growing the business. So you're like running with your hair on fire while the pavement's falling behind you, or you can just stay stuck and be in first gear pedaling your ass off. In order to get to second, third, and fourth gear, you have to pay the who's. So he said he was like walks in the kitchen to his wife, I'm making 100 grand a year personal income off this, $600,000 or $700,000 business. She's like, wow. He goes, but it's all going away. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm hiring an operations manager to manage all the employees in the field to get all the shit done, so I can focus on running admin and marketing and change my hats. And when he said it's all going away, I was just like crying laughing on the podcast, because that's something you should never tell your wife, like it's all going away. But that it was so funny. And what he was talking about is, when you understand this stuff, you expect it and you anticipate it and you plan for it in advance. It's when you don't know when the shit happens to you and now your business is haywire because you don't have any minimum viable systems or methods, simple frameworks, that when it happens and it blindsides you, that you're stressed out and end up, by the time winter comes, dude, I've been so depressed in the winter with bags under my eyes, and I look and my hair is gone gray and shit, and I wake up in the morning, I'm like, what the fuck, like go into depression. So it's like summer high, winter depression. It's like, how do we even that shit out? And so for me, it was the who's, not the how's. So the final step in the marketing progression pyramid at the top of the list is it's an integrator. There's the visionary integrator relationship. You now, if that's what you want to do, become the visionary of your business, and then you hire the integrator, and it could be just a kick-ass office manager that does all that stuff for you. So my integrator now, I can't tell you her name, but she's in Texas. She's a fucking rock star. I wish she would have come into my life 5 years ago, but I wasn't ready. And dude, I'm like literally sending this lady gourmet brownies and gift cards to Outback Steakhouse. I could cry for how thankful I am, because now in my business, everything that I have a vision, she's like, hold up, let's put that on our CRM. It's called Monday.com, where all of the ideas and business marketing ideas and everything we have is completely categorized and organized to exactly what needs to be done. And it's all time-based with triggers. So if we have a new idea that comes in, it's like, wait, we're working on this project. You sure you want to do this? All right, we'll set that up for March. So now we have a marketing content calendar with themes that we're putting together, and I've hired a consultant. So when I'm on the weekly pulse call with my virtual assistants and paying a consultant to guide us along, here's what it is. I have the integrator on the Zoom calls with us, paying attention to everything, and she's taking notes, and AI is recording it and creating show notes. So that way when we get off the Zoom call, you get sucked right back into your business, and you can't even fucking implement anything that you just learned, And you're like, what the fuck? I learned you. So you get excited, then you get let down. When you have the integrators there with you and you're present and you're the visionary, you say, all right, now go do it. And then they do the shit and they're fucking doing it all. And I'm literally like, I've created this thing, we have a book. It's the operations manual for my landscape business, and it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker. This is a dream come true, and I'm flipping through these beautiful pages of our 4 steps to training employees, the 16 documents any employee must sign before we can cut them a check, background check, drug screen, social media release form, non-disclosure agreement, all that stuff, our budgets, everything, on and on and on. I'm like, how? And I showed this to I'm like crazy in love with my wife, and because we were like poor as shit in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I couldn't fucking figure it out, and I was really depressed. And to watch where we're at now is a dream come true. And I pulled her into my studio. I'm like, you have to see this. We have these beautiful branded company manual with all these things happening. And she's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. This is amazing. This is gorgeous. And I'm like so proud of it. And I almost feel weird, because I didn't do any of the shit. I know everything line by line. I'm on the phone with the lawyer. I'm asking questions and making sure everything is super, super legit. Like if a T's not crossed and an I's not dotted, like I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and praying and shit and calling up my assistant, and I'm like, I have to make sure, because I'm sorry, I'm going too deep with that, but integrity is everything. And so basically you can hire people to do all the shit for you, and you can do it through virtual assistants on a site called upwork.com. If it's something very critical, make sure possibly they're in the United States, and a lot of people can be overseas. Like I said, you're gonna kiss a lot of frogs. I've been through like 65 virtual assistants. I have a video editor right now in Serbia who's amazing, but he's totally MIA for the past 8 weeks. I've got overdue projects. We've got 17 videos already filmed, ready to be edited, and he's gone. I have 3 more video editors. One is in Russia, but since the sanctions, I just don't know if I can hire him anymore. So multiple video editors and people on board doing stuff. And the next step is make sure that all these virtual assistants are all cohesively in understanding with your brand and everything that you do. So everything they do looks consistent, has consistent textures, fonts, tones, the messaging is correct. We have something called a brand style guide. So anybody, if we have a graphic designer do anything, everything looks exactly the same and looks branded. So therefore the messaging that's coming out on the internet and on social media, they immediately know that it's my stuff. So think about that in your business. Am I going too far here? Is this resonating? Okay. You can do like all this stuff. And the next question by Tim Ferriss, the author of the 4-Hour Workweek, he has this free guide. It's like the 17 questions you have to ask yourself. And my favorite one is, what would this look like if it were easy? So I would be like, this is so hard, and I'd get overwhelmed because I have a lot of anxiety sometimes. I would say, wait a second, this shit is easy. So, build it into your marketing. You don't have to have a fancy camera. You can use your phone. Start taking the footage of the job sites and before and after pictures. Here's an amazing thing I learned. On your iPhone or your Android, you can press like the plus button in the gallery and create albums. I create an album for every different customer's last name or the name of the project, and then all the videos and pictures go into that project. I got one obviously for family and my dogs and Christmases, but with the business stuff, it's all hyper organized. And then I have that all matching inside of Dropbox, every single thing that has to do with the business, whether it's employees or payroll or taxes or insurance or anything social media. It's all out of my head and in the cloud, so my virtual assistants can access it. And so everything that comes in real time is being uploaded to the cloud with tags, so the virtual assistants can go right in and grab what they need, and they don't have to keep bugging me. So if you're trying to scroll through your phone like, fuck, where was that one picture? It's right where it's supposed to be because you're doing it in real time. So I get really excited when I meet people at events like this and I see them in a year or two, and it'll be like something like Marvin. He's like, bro, we're doing it. We've automated this part of the business. It made me free. I started that podcast I've always dreamed of, and now it's working and we're traveling. And it's like your dreams and what you want to do is literally so close 6 to 12 months, you can be doing some epic shit that you always dream, whether it's in your business or on anything, because a lot of people have multiple businesses now and multiple, like you might have your day business and you have an internet side hustle on Amazon, or you're doing some social media stuff, and people love multiple streams of income and cryptocurrency and stocks and all that shit. It's like, but if you can just take a couple of those hats, or at least one of those hats off in your day business and give it to someone else, it'll free you up to do all that shit. So I think that's enough. Is there any questions? Did I bore you to death? Am I talking too fast?
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Those are,
I got a question.
I have resources too, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. The resources that you just mentioned, where can people find more information on that? Like the books you've written, how to find you and whatnot online if they do that.
Yeah, I think that my books would be boring to you guys. I just published my 4th book called 17 Ways to Market a Landscaping Business, and that'll be out like in a couple of months. We're recording the audiobook right now on audible.com. We have like 7 online courses. We have all this, but it's all about like landscaping, window cleaning, and marketing. We have a program called the Business Marketing Blueprint. It's keithkelfus.com/BMB. But I want to tell you the books that I've read that have made me have these epiphanies. It's Dan Sullivan, the book called Who Not How on audible.com. So throw in headphones and listen to that while you're working. And then the other books are by Gino Wickman is Traction, Get a Grip, and Rocket Fuel. These hyper-specific pieces of information will like wake you up and can create huge changes, because when you change the way you see things, the things you see literally change. So that's it. Any questions?
Yeah, just to follow up, you said you've gone through 65 virtual assistants and you've got kind of like 4 you're working through?
Collectively? Yeah, now we have like 17. There's a core group of like 7 or 9. It's because some of them are like all the time, some of them are sometimes, some of them are part-time.
What I dig into, I guess, was, is it kind of just consistently have had like trimming of the herd where people go MIA? Or was it at the beginning like it was really hard to find that core group that's kind of stuck through? Or I know that's been a lot of times that's the issue with finding virtual assistants is, yeah, they go AWOL, or they can't get the brand message right, or different things like that. So I didn't know how long it took you to find those couple to kind of take the rest off of.
2016, there's this internet marketer guy named Ty Lopez. He'd have his Lamborghinis in his garage and shit, and he went mega viral. And people were questioning him, but then he put out this course, like it was a social media marketing business training thing. And I bought it and I was watching it, and there was this guy in there named, I think it was Joe Soto. He had like a multi-million-dollar internet marketing agency where he did stuff for businesses like ours. And then he talked about hiring virtual assistants. And in one moment, I had this, what we call an epiphany bridge, where I was like, wait a second. I immediately took Upwork and I opened it up and I started, oh my God, this has been here this whole time. So I was so scared to hire somebody because I was afraid of making a mistake. And then I finally said, like, this pain isn't gonna stop unless I just take a chance. And then the first person I hired totally sucked. And then I was trying to have my wife help me. Then I'm trying to have my cousin Nathan. This kid's like 18. I'm like, dude, I'll pay you $14 an hour. And then he didn't know what he was doing. So instead of trying to find the, instead of trying to train somebody to do it, you just find somebody who's already good at that specific thing. But be willing to like hire fast and fire fast. Like I said, I'll hire 3 people for the same task, and then I'll get rid of the other 2 that don't work. And I'm super upfront and clear. And I noticed that when you're incredibly confident and you've like stepped over the line and you are committed to this thing, other people pick up on it, and then they want to jump onto your mission. Just like almost like an employee, if you hire them and you don't seem too committed about your own business and your truck's all dirty, they're like, well, I don't know what this, but if your shit's clean and you've got a mission and a vision, the employees, because they're like your internal customers. So now when I interview virtual assistants, I'm so serious that I'll keep them on a Zoom call for an hour, and I'll run them through different tests, and I'll almost cajole them in a point to ask them questions that might irritate them to see if they have anger issues, because I mean, these people, some of them, you're giving them the keys to the kingdom.
Are you upfront with them about the trying 3 out for the same task? You're like, hey, you got to prove your shit, or you kind of not do that because that's...
No, a couple have found out, and because they had access to like the same Google Drive folder, and I could feel it was a little funny, but dude, I don't know if I'll do that going forward, but I've got a business to run and we've got deadlines and stuff going on. And so it just like kind of is what it is. And this is not nice to say, and I'm wrong, just because they're 5,000 miles away or something. It should be no different. So I think moving forward, I will be more upfront and say, hey, we're hiring multiple positions, and we're just going to pick the one that resonates the most. But I mean, there's been virtual assistants who have outright ripped us off and, you know, lied about something. That's why I like Upwork.com, because everything's under contract and they're clocking everything in and out. Like my executive assistant, we've retained her just exclusively, but she uses a program called Clockify, and she clocks everything that she does. When we're talking on the phone, on Zoom calls, it doesn't matter what it is, she's clocking it all, and then she gives me a report specifically of where every minute was spent, so I know exactly where every dollar's going. So when I hire a virtual assistant, I let them know, I say, at the end of every single session that you work for me on your own hours, and unless there's like urgent deadline, I want you to, and I'll pay you to take the last 5 minutes, and just, even if it's on a Google Doc, go and tally up what you did in a couple links with the amount of time, real simple, charge me for that, and then send it with your invoice so I know where the heck my money's going. And if they ever stop doing that and fall off, hey, where's that thing? Where's that thing? Because if they can't follow simple directions, then how are they gonna follow through when the going gets tough? So I just set the expectations just like an employee. Like employees in my landscape business, I'm like, you can't even work for us unless, like I'm not gonna put the camera in your face, but we shoot videos every day. Unless you're comfortable with being on camera, you can take a drug test, pass a background screen. And so they're like sitting here signing all this shit. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna like come after you or anything. I gotta protect my business and my ass, but we're gonna crush it. We're gonna kill it. I'm excited. And so it's like, same exact thing. Did that answer it? Yeah. Just jump in and do it. You might go through 3 or 4 virtual assistants, and then you'll find one that'll stick with you, and you'll be like, oh my God, 3 years has gone by, and this person is doing tremendous things in my business, and I couldn't imagine my business without him. And the next thing is, don't think that each virtual assistant is gonna be the savior of your business. Like, oh my God, because you get excited, be like, I found this person, because one thing can happen, and now they're MIA. I have a virtual assistant in the Philippines who will literally just disappear for like 6 weeks straight. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? So now she's gone from my main assistant to my secondary assistant because she's so good at what she does. And now I have a main assistant who's not as good, but is reliable and dependable. And so now that's with our podcast production. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just do 2 shows a week. And sometimes when this one, so it's like, somebody will be like, well, you should fire that person. I'm like, I'm trying to, it's always like a math game, you know? But yeah, you can have multiple people. In the whole, there's like they say you can get virtual assistants for $4 an hour. Dude, I want to pay them like so well. Like in Asia, I forgot, and don't quote me if I might be wrong, like in December, it's like a whole holiday. There's some tradition where you pay them what they would have made the entire month. So I haven't done that, and I do plan on doing that. But I'm like giving them bonuses like all the time. I'll give them all a $100 bonus. I make a quick video with Loom on my webcam, and I will personally thank each and every single one of them. If they're local, I'll send them gourmet brownies and let them know that I genuinely care about them, and I say thank you for being on my team. I'm so thankful. And that reciprocity works amazing, and they stick. So I have become my VAs, and as freelancers, I'm their favorite client. And now they're so much more loyal to me, because we're building a team, we're going somewhere. Yeah. So, any other questions? Come on, something.
All right.
You sure? What's up?
I'm sorry. He's begging for a question.
Yeah.
So, what would you recommend, like a first hire to be? Like, if I have no virtual assistants, what would be the first step in getting one? Like, what would I let go first?
What would you what?
Like, what task would you recommend letting go first?
Oh, the first task, the first virtual assistant you should hire, I think, is actually a bookkeeper to log onto your QuickBooks and your bank accounts, a trusted bookkeeper, so they can only see transactional data, and then start doing all your books for you and give you monthly profit and loss statements and balance sheets when you need it, so you know exactly what your books are. And so our bookkeeper is like $365 a month. We have one bookkeeper, 2 businesses, so it's like $500 a month. And like our books are perfect now.
So that would be like in conjunction with like an in-house controller or something like that. You have them like take a second look and reconcile and send reports and stuff like that.
I don't know the answer to that, but if you have somebody in-house, that's even better, I would say.
Okay.
But we hire an agency, or it's Best Damn Bookkeeping by Dan Plata. So, yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks,
Yeah.
Keith. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it, man. Absolutely. Keith, you stick around a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, so if you have questions or you'd like to get Keith one-on-one for a minute, he'll be around here for a little bit.